Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Goonies World. I am, of course, Meanie, also known as Ryan, and I am joined by Goonie, also known as Colin.
Hello, that's me.
Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello.
Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hey.
And joining us once again, the good Dr. H, also known as Zach.
Guten Abend.
And we're going to be some mice again.
That's right, and the German is appropriate because we're playing Mausritter. And I encourage you to go back and listen to the last two if you haven't, because I'm not going to recap much. But our hero mice, Simon and Willow and Squeaky and Fennel, have investigated the cheese-making mouse town of Stumpsville and learned that most of the mice, except for the two that you rescued, Roquefort and Paneer, had been carried away by the Pierats to trade to the cat lord Balthazar. And for now, all those mice are supposedly being held at the rat's secret hideout in the north near Chimney House. But you guys have secured 8 big wheels of cheese, and you've loaded it onto a cart, and you had been wounded in your encounters, and you were headed back to Bernpyle to rest up and bring news of what's happened and deliver this vital cheese. And I believe you also have some pips to spend. And Willow found a sword he's sure is magical, and Simon found 2 small snail shells that seem to be special. Do you take anything else from Stumpsville when you leave here?
I was just going to say, I forgot to last time. I was kind of interested in one of those swords that the rats had.
Oh, yeah.
Was it just one-handed sword?
Well, it's a sword that if you use it two-handed, you could do more damage, but you can use it one-handed.
Okay, yeah, because I'd like to have one, my main paw, I guess, with my sling, or vice versa maybe, but just one weapon in each hand.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a melee weapon if you don't have one. And
yeah.
If anyone wants to take a Pierat sword, they're made of needles, but they had a slight curve to them that they had put in, and had a colored bead as a pommel,
I will take a pirate sword.
Okay.
We have a unconscious pirate, don't we?
Piss Pants is tied up, and he does not feel like a sexy rat any longer. He is currently still sleeping off his drunk, though. So he's just lying there in a puddle of his own fluids, multiple fluids, from drool to much worse, in the corner while you guys load up stuff. Is there anything else in here that you think might have value that you might have left behind anywhere that you think about taking with you now that you have a cart to carry things in?
Yeah, you said there was a copper pot or something.
No.
Or some type of...
Yeah, there was that. If anyone had wanted to grab that, that's just a little 10 pip item.
The painting.
What's that?
There was a painting as well.
There was a painting. Yeah, that could have some value. If nobody remembers anything else, we might leave it at that.
I'm actually, I don't remember, but I do remember I'm going to go and pick up any pebbles that I might have slinged.
Yeah. We did have a pretty big fight, and we need to roll, potential breakage and damage and wear and tear to our weapons. So, for each weapon you used in the fight, roll a d6, and if you roll a 4, 5, or a 6, mark off a little usage on there. On your weapon. Each of you can do that. And
damn it.
After a while, weapons need to be repaired. And most of them are scavenged items or adapted items, because you are just little mice after all.
I thought of another thing.
What's that?
A couple sessions ago, there was a large idol or statue or something of that effect that had been in the lake, knocked into the water.
There was a statue of Isaac the Warrior, a cultural hero of the mice, that had some gold leaf on it, no less.
Well, we should probably take the time to haul that out and bring it back to Bernpyle.
Yeah, but it's special to this place. That's like, be like stealing something from them and taking it for ourselves. Maybe they want it, but then again, no one's here anymore. Oh God!
Well, we're here. But like, Roquefort and Pannier run up, and yes, we pushed it. We pushed it into the lake on purpose, so that the rats wouldn't get it and defile it. But certainly not safe here anymore. And neither are we. We want to come with you. Yes, that's right. We want to come with you, and we won't be annoying at all.
No, man. No, the more the merrier. Yeah, like hop in the wagon. Let's go. Let's pull this idol out though, so we can bring it back to the mice, so they can have it and appreciate it before anybody else gets it.
Well, that would be doing something good for the community, which, if you look at the Mausritter rules, is one of those things that can earn you experience rewards. Because you could probably get 500 pips from the gold up that statue, which sounds nice, right? Or you could do something good for the community. So, but good, I'm glad you remembered it, because I hinted about it a few times. But once you load that and all the 8 wheels of cheese on, these are big old wheels of cheese, these are for, this is wholesale wheels of cheese here, onto the little mouse cart. And this is a hand cart, you're going to have to take turns pulling it. Then you can go, and you might as well start off at the next morning, so you're not traveling through the night, which is never advisable for a little mouse such as you. If there's nothing else anyone wants to gather from here, I imagine when you found little bags of pips and other things, you wrote it down, and you're all stuffed with pips now too. And I imagine you can head on your way. Now, of course, your tummies are growling this morning before you go, so we'll need to mark off a ration. I don't know how you're doing on rations, but you can always go foraging for rations. You could take little bites off these giant wheels of cheese, but that kind of spoils their, ooh and ah value and, resale value at the Cheese Sellers Guild.
Yeah, but they could see that the nibbles on the cheese, and they would be not too happy about that. But maybe if we just ate, just took one whole wheel of cheese for ourselves, that nobody would mind that. I mean, and Simon doesn't even like cheese, and so we could have split 3 ways this cheese for us. I mean, nobody would object to that, would they?
I certainly don't object. I think they'd really appreciate 7 wheels of cheese, and they wouldn't mind at all.
Well, maybe we could even just, take a quick nibble off the ones that we're not taking back. We take back 8, and we go back, and we just take a little nibble off the ones that are still there.
Well,
we only could carry so many.
There was that smaller wheel of cheese that was attached to the trap that you set off. You could just have a bite of that and avoid marking off a ration.
Yeah, nobody would mind that. Let's not tease the cheese. Let's go and have ourselves some nibbles, and then we could have more rations, when we need it.
Okay.
Well, I don't like cheese, but in the interest of saving rations, I'll have to have some.
Yeah, just force it down, you weirdo.
Well, and
This cheese is good.
you also may find opportunities to forage as you're traveling. In fact, if you ever want to initiate foraging, you let me know. If there's a good foraging opportunity, I'll let you know. But by now, as you're contemplating all these matters and finishing up your hurried breakfast of cheese, your great snore and cough and splutter and Piss Pants wakes up, realizes he's tied up, and he's like, "Oh, blimey, oh, what's up? What's wrong with me? What's up?" And he just manages to sit up, even though his arms and legs are tied, and he sees you all there. And of course, if he's still in the same place when he goes left, he sees the sprawling bodies of his Pierat brethren. And Oh, I see what it is. I see what my fate is. You mice are gonna slow cook me and eat me. I knew it would come to this. It's exactly what me mammy said when I went off to go join the bandit gang. She said, don't do it or you're gonna get slow roasted and eaten. And now I see my fate. Oh, I need a drink terribly. Somebody come put some liquor past this poor rat's lips. Oh, if I'm going to die, let me die happy.
I don't have any sympathy for you, you bad rat. This is what you get. You're lucky we don't eat you. But we're mice. We don't eat rats. Dumbass.
Well, then let me go. I won't do anything to you.
We don't trust you.
No, never trust a rat.
You can't leave me here to starve to death. I'm tied up. I can't get loose.
And that's why we're going to take you with us, man.
What?
Yeah, you're going to go to prison in Bernpyle, and you're going to answer all the questions, and you're going to be a good rat forever.
I can't go to prison. Oh, I'm too pretty. I'm too pretty. I can't go to prison. They're going to tear me.
You're not
ugly.
pretty at
They'll
all.
tear me.
You're ugly as fuck.
You are.
I mean, I'm not quite as mean to say that, but you really.
I'm just
you
we're
really
so
are
worked
very
up
pretty.
and all these rats, and we're taking you with us, and you're going to prison whether you like it or not.
I'll have the rat's revenge on you one day. I sure will. You better hope your mama's there to walk you from school, bro.
Simon's just gonna slice him with his sword. he's sufficiently wrathful that this rat is just pissing him
He's
off.
wrathful.
He's wrathful.
He's wrathful. All right, well, we'll see how bad it hurts him. Go ahead and slice him with your sword. Roll your damage. This is a big-ass freaking sword, though.
Well, I only rolled a 2.
Okay. Well,
So hoping to one-shot him, but I don't think that's good.
you didn't one-shot him, but he did only have 3 HP. I mean, so he rolls around. He's able to squirm out of the way and avoid most of the worst. No, don't do it. No, I don't want to go to prison, but I don't want to get stuck by a mouse.
We could, feed you to the snake.
No, not that. Anything but that. Please, I'm begging you. Please, I'm begging you.
You have options. We've given you several. Which one do you want? Jail, death, or fed to a snake? Which also ends in death.
Yeah, but it's a slow death. You digest it.
He seems to scheme a little bit behind his eyes. And, I suppose it's jail then. If you're gonna have to untie my feet so I can walk, you can't drag me all the way to jail.
Well, we'll keep you tied up. You're going to be tied to the cart. Your hands will be tied, but you can walk. You just won't.
Yeah, I can picture.
Don't even try to run away.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I've seen that movie. Got tied to the back of the cart walking along. Okay.
Oh, I think he will be tied to the front of the cart,
Ah,
pulling it along.
there you go.
Yeah, you're a beast of burden.
I'd end up a beast of burden or slow roasted. That's what my mammy told me. Beast of burden or slow roasted, that's what she said. Now look. She's looking down from rat heaven. Oh, who am I kidding? She's looking up from rat hell. That bitch is all her fault what I've come to. And he continues to, whether you listen or not, and I'm not going to roleplay it for as long as you're with him, but it's mostly a steady tirade of woe is me and the world has done me wrong. And and he also has a powerful thirst. He would very much... and in fact, he laps up the spilled wine on the table. And
bro, I can't. He's still tied up, right?
yeah,
Bro, I can't give you any liquor. We don't even know where any is lying around, but I got something that would probably take the edge off if you want some of that.
Oh yeah, what do you got? You got a little corn silk? You gonna smoke a little corn silk?
No, man. Just chill. Just chew on. Put this in your little ratty mouth. Chew on this for a little bit, man. Take the ride, and just give him not the microdose size of the special mushroom, but like the full on. He's going to be on a different planet for the next week and a half size.
All right, and so you do. What do you do? Like feed it to him? You like just put it in his mouth with your hand, or
yeah.
Okay. Well, when you do that, he goes and bites your hand. He still gets the mushroom in there too, but he does impair damage because he's a rat and he is an asshole.
God, we're gonna have to muzzle him.
He does take lose 2 HP from that. You snatch your hand out of the way. And he laughs, and then you go up and I guess hook him up to the front of the cart, and he starts pulling it, and you guys stumble off, and God only knows, this guy might wander off a waterfall or something later, but hopefully he'll get into the motion of it and the activity. But yeah, in about 20 minutes, he's gonna really freak out. And now your journey back is going to be much longer than the journey here. You guys cut across country. You didn't take the cart path that they use for trade. And so this will be about a 7-watch journey as far as you know. And it's still close enough to dawn when you leave. And you travel in a great big loop through a forest of tall grasses. And just about the end of there, you notice that Piss Pants is alternately weeping and laughing maniacally and talking to somebody who's not there, and you think it may be his mother in Rat Hell, because he's like talking to her and babbling aloud about how jail is better than death, and you can always escape from a jail. And then shh, don't say that. And then talk back and forth to himself in Gollum-like fashion for a while, as you leave the great forest of tall grasses. And you pass this huge leaning statue. This is one of the wonders of the area, actually. It's a statue that giants made. It's a leaning statue of a female giant. It's all covered with mosses and festooned with butterflies at this time of year. But just past that, there's a bridge that was made by giants. It's huge. And it crosses the same river, a creek, really. In fact, it's the same creek that you crossed somewhat further to the south on Stones, where you fought Bubba Muggles and his frog bandits. Just a little further up, and a little path goes across that. And of course, this is like a footbridge, to the giants who built it. But to you, you can imagine, the amazing expanse of it. And you walk out along it, and the sky is clear above you in the morning. Suddenly there's a great winged shadow passes over. You look up, and the bird that has cast the shadow is much smaller than the shadow seemed like. It is a shrike, but you immediately realize from its distinctive coloration that you've heard rumors of the black shrike who preys in this area sometimes. That he may not be the biggest bird out there, but he's one of the worst. And just as you fear, he wheels around and comes barreling down in towards the bridge, just dive bombing your location. However, you got plenty of time to see him coming in and prep yourselves. What do you do?
Piss Pants, bro, I think that's your mom coming to get you. You better jump up there and hug her.
In movies when somebody screams at very, very high pitch for comedic effect, that is exactly what he does.
So this bridge, like, how tall is it, and what is it, over just water?
It's over water, and if you can picture a concrete pedestrian footbridge with little wrought iron railings on it, but just supersize and scale that up because you're a tiny little mouse, right? That's the kind of bridge you're on. So it seems like, the Brooklyn Bridge to you.
So like a jump from that would be kind of far for us, but then we weigh a lot less.
Yeah, it'd be kind of far. It might not be fatal. I mean, you'd have some water problems once you get down there, but that's one option is jumping off.
Hopefully with the Shrike at least temporarily focused on eating his Pierat meal, Willow would probably jump to the front of the cart and just try to pull it across the rest of the path as fast as possible.
You start running. Okay. And anybody else want to do anything before it comes charging in?
I mean, do we know for sure that it's targeting the
Not
rat?
necessarily. It's coming at the group. But the rat's standing still and screaming.
Because I think I'm going to let loose a pebble.
Well, there you go.
What's coming in?
You initiate combat by swinging a sling, and a stone flies at the Black Shrike as it's coming in from out of the sun, like the Red Baron, except black, feathery.
Okay, I got a 5.
Oh my. It's a very good roll for a sling. And pop! Some feathers fly off of it. Simon, what are you doing?
Simon is just going to take a stance with his sword, in such like hold it up at such an angle that if this bird were to attempt to swoop down upon him, it would be impaled.
Yeah. You could be ready. All right. And it hasn't gotten there yet, but I almost called you by your character from our other game. But Squeaky, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to shoot with my rubber band sling also.
Rubber band sling. See if we can do some damage to this terrible Black Shrike before he gets here.
I also rolled a 5.
Oh my goodness. And now the Black Shrike comes crashing into the situation. Now it may have gone for the rat, but what it's going to go for now is the last thing that hit it, which is our good friend Squeaky. And it comes in, and of course you guys are all there in a more or less cluster together, right? But with a flurry of activity, actually grabs your clothes with its beak, Squeaky, and picks you up and tosses you, just throws you. Whoosh! Not off the bridge, but like down the bridge a little bit, down further down your path, and you land heavily for 7 points of damage. Crunch. But then in the next minute, it turns around and mauls, the next second really, it turns around and mauls our good friend Fennel. And with this little claw, but it only does negligible. Do you have any armor, Fennel? Well, you take one, you lose 1 HP. Okay. But terrible. And that was its move. Now, I know that you happen to be standing right there with a sword. Simon, do you want to take a turn here real quick after its movement?
Well, yeah, if it's close enough to slash
it's right there with you and your friends in the thick of it. It's just throwing one friend, clawed another. You come rushing in with a sword and
hit it for 5 points. But I mean, Simon's not doing. I don't recall taking a short rest, so Simon's not doing too good. It is quite in fear for his life.
Short rest we can always assume to take. It's
and
10
plus
minutes. Plus you slept all night too.
We slept all night.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
I missed that. My bad.
Yeah, but he just saved for critical damage, so it's still up. It does another wing around. Now you were starting to run off with the cart, Willow. Are you still doing that?
No, I think I imagine when Squeaky got tossed, there was an adorable little squeak.
Yeah, there was
or something. Yeah, something, which would pique Willow. His little mousy ears up, and he would stop the wagon. He would turn around and take a running dash. That's funny. He would take just screaming,
a dashing run.
Yeah, dashing run. That makes more sense. Just a screaming, just back at it with his fancy new glowing magic sword to see what happens and come in. If he can two-handed, I know it's a one-handed sword, but whatever he can do to put the most force and fear behind it.
Okay. Well, you come in screaming, and this is like a 1-2 punch. You've just been hit with Simon's blade. You come screaming in a few seconds later with the magic sword you found. It actually almost looks like it might have been fashioned from a screw. You're not sure what special properties it has right now. It does do D8 damage when used with both hands, just like a regular sword. So go ahead and roll that.
That is a 7.
Okay. Now, it had already taken critical damage. 7 takes it down below 0 strength. The Black Shrike, through good teamwork from everyone, is dead. It lies there, oozing blood onto the smooth concrete surface of the bridge. Its feathers blowing in the wind. And meanwhile, Piss Pants is running off as fast as he can with the cart to the other end of the bridge. You guys can easily catch up to him, but he's still screaming. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Get back here, bastard.
Oh, no, man, don't run that way. That's where the snake is. It's going to eat you. Come back, man.
He comes back, and then he turns around and looks at you guys, and then he turns back and goes the other way, and then he tries to do it again. By this time, he's dragging the cart it doesn't have a great turn radius, so he's kind of running in confused circles. Then he collapses and begins to cry.
Do you want another cut? Simon will cut you if you don't behave.
He's weeping uncontrollably, but whether it's Stockholm Syndrome or what, he comes up and he gives each of you guys a heartfelt hug while he's weeping. And he, especially, like, Simon's bald, right? All his fur is shaved. He rubs
Pretty much,
rubs
yeah.
Simon's skin, his smooth skin, and I guess feeling very tactile. Says, "Oh, I'll behave. I'll be a good rat. I'll be a good rat. I always wanted to be inside. You know how hard it is to be a rat. All this pressure to be a badass all the time. Mean."
Willow.
Well, next time you should try helping, maybe. And then maybe you'd get our respect.
Willow will, knowing what headspace our friend is in, will try to impersonate his mom. Like, it's okay, honey. You're a good rat. You're a good rat. You can calm down.
"Mama!" he says. He grabs you and hugs you. And, well,
Now all these little mice, man, are my friends. So you should just go with them. They don't mean you no harm, my little furry rat son.
Piss Pants is good. He always helps. And,
Now you behave yourself.
Piss Pants always behaves. And he picks up the cart and he begins to pull it. And you continue on your journey across the bridge, and the path goes through some more tall grasses along the edge of the creek, which really, again, you think of as a river. I don't know if I can ever quite sell the upscaling of everything. I try to remember that. Everything I say, if I say it's a creek, it's a river. But you get across the bridge and through some towering cattails until you see something truly huge. A ruin made by giants. And the path goes right along the edge of it, what might be the back edge. And underneath this huge off-white ruined box, if you can picture, like, the back of a, metagamingly, it's like the back of a snack stand with a freezer out back. The path goes past that and under it. But when I say ruins, it's definitely not in use anymore. You guys don't think of these things that way, but I like to do more than hint about it, just so you can imagine it. Now, as you go right along the path, there's a long horizontal crack that runs along just to your right that leads underneath and into this human ruin. Now, if you wanted to take a few turns, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, you could pop in there and see if there's anything useful. You could forage whenever you're around settlements of the giants and ruins of giants. You can often find things. That's how you get a lot of the stuff you make. It's certainly not a requirement, but since no one's chasing you, do you want to take some time and go into that black crack, light some torches? You'll have to. It'll be pitch dark in there. But I think you all have some torches. And see if you can find anything that you could salvage, like rations or useful items. anytime you're around human settlements, it's a good time to do that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Well, you do. And this is really just about the end of your first watch of traveling. And you light the torches and they sputter in the darkness. And you can walk into that crack and see what you can see. Because you never know what the humans have left behind. The first thing you see is the torchlight reflecting back, shining off the carapaces of big beetles. But the beetles have never been fans of fire, and they go backing off and scuttling off into the darkness as you approach. This is a huge open area. There's all kinds of debris on the ground, though, and other big items made of metal and stuff you don't quite understand that get illuminated in little globes of light as you search through the darkness. But instead of thinking of it as small and cramped, think of it as a huge, low-ceilinged chamber. But to abstract this out a little bit, why don't you roll a d6, each of you, to see what you can find in here? Since it seems you won't have to tangle with any beetles.
I have rolled a 3.
3. Well, that's great.
4.
Okay. Well, let's do this one at a time. You roll a 3, and you find 2 rations. Now, I wonder what they could possibly be. But you could be creative with that, knowing what this place used to be. But it'd be like old and bad, something a person wouldn't eat. But, you find enough food and that you can make 2 rations out of it. So you can add that onto your sheet. And did somebody say they rolled a 4?
I did.
Yeah, well, you find 3 rations. Oh, wow, that's nice. I picture like pieces of sticks of bread you find in those then you peel it off and there's some cheese and some little breadsticks you dip in. I don't know why I was picturing something like that. But what'd you roll, Zach?
I rolled a 5.
Oh, you found something really good. You found a seasoning packet. It could be anything. Roll a d4 to see what kind of seasoning packet you found.
That's a 4.
Oh my. You found chili powder. It's a picture of a cactus on the... That's how you know. But no, chili powder can be good if you rub it all over your fur before fighting a cat, for example. Then, when sometimes your flavor will bite back at what bites you. This is a good thing to save. You can also think of some other, useful things to do with chili powder, I imagine. But that is certainly one. And seeing as there may be a cat in your future, that might be something to hold on to. Oh. And finally, Squeaky.
2.
Okay. Well, you found 1 ration. It's a raisin. It's a chocolate-covered raisin.
Oh.
I'll give you that much. Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah.
This looks delicious. I don't care if it's 500 years old.
Okay. Well, now the beetles have always been just, around at the edges of the light at this point, right? And suddenly they part ways and something bigger approaches the very edge. Now, this might be a good time to get out of here, unless you want to face the scorpion that is slowly stalking his way into the edge of your flickering firelight.
No, thank you. Let's get out of here.
We running? Okay. Yeah. I see that little Scooby-Doo run in place for a second, and then everybody is out of there. And of course, just now, that gives the beetles their courage, and they chase you as if they were always meaning to chase you out of here. And the scorpion stalks behind you, snapping with his great big pincers. But you guys get out into the light and back onto the road to the still weeping and mostly subdued Piss Pants, who then helps you guys hightail it out of there. And once the cart leaves that area, you plunge down a hill and through a round tunnel. It's really like a drainage tunnel. Storm sewer drainage. And out onto a huge expanse of tall flowers. And a few huge trees interspersed amongst the flowers. The path kind of winds throughout, following the path of least resistance. But up ahead, somewhat off the path, you do see an interesting sight, which is a birdhouse seems to have fallen out of a tree, but landed almost perfectly, just kind of slipped off the side. And it's only slightly tilted and supported up against the tree. You can tell it's been there for a while because there's some moss on it and whatnot. But there's a creature there, a beast. It's a little star-faced mole, and he's sitting on a stoop, looking very forlorn. And when he looks up and he sees you through the flowers, he shakes his head, shows no interest, and hangs his head back down after heaving his shoulders wearily. But it seems you've heard of a star-faced mole before. I've mentioned it, but I don't know if you remember.
It's a wizard or something. The wise mole, star-faced mole. I've heard about this.
You have heard about that. Maybe it is him. Do you guys want to go talk to him?
Yeah.
Did you say he was like is he in the birdhouse?
He's like sitting on the stoop, like sitting on the equivalent of his front stoop. Like he lives there, but he's sitting outside.
Well, I was hoping to find some bird eggs to eat. Those are good.
What? Why the long face, my mole friend?
Well, I don't see what good it does to tell you. My staff is gone. My staff's been stolen. I was once a powerful wizard. I was amongst the most powerful. I could speak to the dead. I could hurl balls of fire. I could fly like the sparrows and the shrikes. But my staff has been taken, and what good is a wizard who has no staff? I'll tell you what good. No good.
Oh man, you're good. You're good, man. Don't get down about yourself. Now, where'd that staff go? Who took your staff?
It's no use. A raven took it, and not just any raven, but a fey raven from the lands of the fairies. Well, I'll never get it back now.
Well,
I hope you haven't come here looking for the mighty wizard Suetonius, the star-faced mole, because I'm afraid all you'll find is a big fat disappointment.
Well, actually, we were headed back to Bernpyle, well, I sure hoped. I sure don't like to see you. It's so upset. And we just killed the black shrike, so maybe we could help you find this raven. Maybe I don't know.
Well, this fey raven has it, and only he would have taken it back to the land of the fairies. And the fairy queen may have a treaty with your great Earl Seedfall of the mice, but we star-faced moles aren't so fortunate in our friends. And the queen of the fairies hates me anyway. I publicly embarrassed her at a convention once, and she has never forgiven me for it. She's never forgiven me for it. She's ousted me from my former seat of power, and now here I am. She'll never give it to me if I ask. But why would you... You seem to... Tell me your story, friends. Perhaps I should... Let me make some tea. Where are my manners? And he waddles around for a little bit, and he comes out and gets a little fire going in his little courtyard there in front of his birdhouse, and sets out some tea, and gives you guys little acorn cups, and sips your tea. Tell me your story. Now, you don't have to actually, take the time to tell him your whole story, but you can, give him the gist of it, or you can let him know what's going on, or however you like, or you can play it cool and keep your story close to your vest.
I'd probably tell him every single detail.
Yeah.
Well, first things first, let me see these items you found. I may not have a staff anymore, but I still have my experience and my brain.
Oh, yeah, well, give him the shells, Simon. You got the shells. wizard could tell what those are.
Oh, I could tell what those are. Simon's your name, is it?
Me, yeah.
Simon, here, take one of your shells here, and I'll take the other one. Now, you go run off over there by that patch of columbines over there. Right underneath those huge sunflower stalks. As far away out of earshot. There you go. And some of you, like, run off. You know, the mouse equivalent of, like, several hundred yards.
But make sure you don't keep running, because I know you like to just run away. You come back.
But then from a distance, he tells you to put the shell up to your ear. And when he speaks into it, you can hear him as if he's standing right next to you. You have found speaking shells, my little Simon. And you may use them to speak at any great distance to whoever you wish. Who has the other shell, that is. And that's what you have found. There in the...
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
And
That could come in handy. Sometimes we have to split up, and we could stay informed of what each other's doing.
yes, if you had anything useful to do, and I'm sure you will, but I know I won't, since I'm a pretty useless wizard. Now, let me take a look at that sword you have there.
Yeah, man. Here you go. It works real good, man.
Well, you see, oh yes, this is made from an iron screw of the giants. And you see, because of the spiral nature down the side, will make it good for defensive fighting. Anyway, in terms of game mechanics, whenever you roll usage die for a weapon, usually if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, it marks a usage. This one only does on a 6. And furthermore, if you're fighting with this weapon and you have to save for critical damage, you'll do so with advantage because it's a defensive weapon. And so that's its magical properties, and I've got that here in case you should forget that.
And I do believe I shouldn't even say anything, but we just should. We did have combat with the strike.
That's right.
So we might have to
we do.
mark off usage.
We do, and I appreciate you reminding me. Everyone who did, check to only if you roll a 4, 5, or 6 will you need to mark off usage.
Yeah.
I rolled a 5, but with this fancy weapon, that doesn't matter.
That's right.
Only
And
6. Yep.
the benefits of magical weaponry are already paying off.
And you said it glows. That's like glows with light magic energy, not glows like a torch glows.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice little subtle glow just to let you know, hey, I'm magic. Yeah. But, well, I tell you, you say that these... What was that little squeaky one?
Well, I was just gonna tell you, that even without your staff, you're still obviously very special because you can see the magic and tell us about the special properties, and I bet there's other things you can do too.
No, I can't do much, and I'm getting too old to keep this place up. If only I had some people who could stay here with me and help me. But, Roquefort and Paneer speak up at this point. I tell you, we could always stay here, and we could get a little garden going, at least get you back on your feet. And, well, we can't go fighting fey ravens, but we'd be happy to stay here and do for you, as they say. Yes, we'll do for you, says Paneer. And,
what does this staff look like? Because if we happen to see it on our journey, might as well pick it up for you.
well, you might think it at first only be a twisted stick, if not for the many sequins that are embedded all over the top of it. This is what attracted that fey raven. You know the raven. You know how the fairies, they love their sequins. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like things that sparkle, don't they?
Indeed, they do.
Dazzled.
They are dazzling.
I think that's a stereotype.
They are dazzling and fabulous creatures, all of the fairies. But no, you tell a harrowing tale. If it is true that Lord Balthazar is becoming more active this far south, we simply can't have a cat in the earldom. But what can you do? Now, I suppose you could go convince the Earl to raise some war bands to go up against it. Or
I don't know. We just we were just gonna help save the rat at Stumpsville, and then I wasn't even thinking that far ahead. But
well, hopefully you could. Perhaps you could save them before the rat. I mean, before the cat becomes an issue. But if you were to make friends, perhaps with a large snapping turtle, or a raccoon, or let's see, an iguana, or even worse, the worst of all, a corgi, then maybe, or I suppose, if you were to have some powerful fairy magic to help you, then, of course, if I had my staff, a cat would be no problem, but oh, I'll never get it back. Oh.
Never say never.
But you have a goal. You need to get back to Bernpyle. I understand. Good Roquefort and Pannier will stay with me, and should you ever need my meager and pitiful and almost useless services again, you know where to find me. And I suppose if fate should put your hands onto my staff, then use it as I would, and hopefully return it to me so I won't be so useless and stupid. Roquefort and Pannier are already rustling about looking for salads and whatnot in the surrounding fields. So you can leave them safely here for a while. They can help him get back on his feet. But no one wants Piss Pants here, even if you were going to leave him. So he's got to go. Yeah, that one's got to go, he says. And well, after about a 6-hour march, I got to think this guy's starting to come down a little bit, maybe. But you guys can push on for another watch. It'll be a long trip. So you go through the flatlands and on through many, many sights and sounds we will not speak of for the moment. And luckily, most of it is without incident, because this is a dangerous world. However, the mice do not build their trade paths on truly dangerous areas. The Black Shrike, you never know where it'll strike. But for the most part, your journey is without incident. And soon enough, you're at the lands of the northern borders. You can see the great watchtowers in the distance that the mice have. Again, these are disc golf baskets, but they make serviceable watchtowers for the mice. And soon enough, you are back to Bernpyle. In fact, mark off another ration, because you would have had to have rested for at least once during that long journey. And it's only perhaps the spirit of Isaac, the warrior, the great mouse you carry with you that keeps you from trouble. But you make it back to Bernpyle at the middle of the next day. And back out into the square. Now you know that Lentz Humdinger is in the guild hall of the Cheese Sellers Guild, so I imagine that's where you go. But when you come riding in through the front gates, well, walking in through the front gates with a rat carrying pulling your cart, there's a great deal of tumult and commotion, and you're immediately stopped by two of the cavalier mice who come swaggering up. So, whoa, what's this? They're bringing me to jail.
Yeah, he's a prisoner.
Oh, very well, we'll take your prisoner. What crimes has he committed?
Well, but he's part of the band of the pirates that kidnapped the citizens of Stumpsville.
Pirates! And then suddenly, that goes to the crowd. That word knifes to the crowd, and then there's a lot of angry looks over at this. Well, he's got a long walk of shame to the cells under the Earl's Keep. And he casts a few reproachful looks over his shoulder at you guys as he's being led away. But God only knows what will happen to him in there. Maybe he'll start a good prison ministry, or again, writing reflective poetry, or tending to wounded dragonflies. I don't know.
Expand
go to
the
a nice
library and get some other prisoners their GEDs while he's in there.
Just join the prison band. Yeah, play some metal. Yeah. Well, you go to the guild hall, I'll assume, because that's, where they keep the cheese. And you're bringing in, big wheels of cheese, too, into town on a cart, which draws some attention. But when you wheel up to the guild hall of the Cheese Sellers Guild, cheeseadors, not stevedores, immediately rush out and begin unloading, the great wheels of cheese and rolling them into the warehouse in the back. And when you step into the cool, open interior of the Cheese Seller Guild with its tile floor, it's actually one tile, like from somebody's cast-off kitchen, right in the middle. And the cheese that's on the little pedestals around the edges is, it's all like displayed in such a manner that makes it look like there's a lot more cheese in here than there actually is. It's all forward-facing, you've got it pulled up at the front of the shelves. But he rushes up to you and just, "Oh, more than we could have hoped. You brought back all the cheese, but I fear something is terribly wrong." And again, you can fill him in on what the deal is if you wish. It's terrible business is terrible business indeed. Remember I said that I could introduce you to my cousin Casson? He's one of the Cavaliers. He can introduce you to possibly even the Earl Seedfall. Would you like to take this news on to the powers that be?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, very good. I'll let you do that. I'll call for him immediately, and I'll send my word out. In fact, in an hour or so, you could go there. In the meantime, don't forget there's those shops nearby that you couldn't afford anything earlier if you want to take a quick look.
Oh, I'm gonna shop until I drop.
Now, in truth, one of my least favorite things to do in an RPG session is sit there while someone goes shopping, unless it's role-played out really entertainingly. So you guys have access to the Mouse Guard rulebook, and we don't even have to do it right now. You can, later on decide what stuff but we can have a shopping montage. There, however, are two interesting shops where we could stop. Now, you can see there are places where you can get some weapons and some armor and some other items. But there's also two stores that have always been a bit of a curiosity. And you don't know if you can afford anything at all at Annis Maker's Smithy and Armory shop. But that one's high brow. And then there's also Lance Humdinger's own shop that he has on the side, which is Fanciful Findings shop, where you can go there and see if you want to buy anything interesting. He's mostly got interesting foods and that sort of thing. But anyone want to stop there before your meeting, or any other place, or have any other questions?
Willow will need to run by his home and check on his wife and his 4 mushroom-named children before meeting with our leader here. So.
That is a thing a family man must do. And they're all happy to see Papa. They'll come rushing up, and your mushroom-smelling wife gives you a mushroomy kiss, and it's nice. Colin, were you about to say something?
Well, so I don't know what everyone else found, but I had gotten 200 pips altogether, and so I would like to. I'm not going to hoard those. I think we should all split those.
Yeah. Everybody can split their pips. Now, whether you can afford anything really great, I don't even know. But I'll let you worry about that. But
so that would be like 50 each.
That's true. And imagine you'll probably go straight for the your standard gear shops. And again, we can do that between sessions. But if you want to stop and get something interesting that might not be on the gear list, like any maple syrup or peanut butter, or there's a big supply of Boston baked beans in town, you can buy some more torches, because you've basically used at least one usage of the torches you've got, and or that sort of thing. You can stop and do that too. But perhaps it's best that we go straight on after some shopping to meet with the Earl, if that's truly possible. And you have to head up way to the top of the Bernpyle, where the Earl's castle is. And it actually is literally a castle. It's a 1978 Fisher-Price Little People's Castle that happens to have ended up here in the dump in the Bernpyle at the very top. It's escaped most of the flames. And even though
Go ahead.
even though Simon was too fearful to continue his career as a sparrow rider, he might feel a slight stirring of pride at the cavaliers and the sparrows that are mounted on top of the castle. But Humdinger's cousin Casson nods gravely to you and leads you into the great hall where the Earl Seedfall expect him to be seated, in great pomp and circumstance, but he's not. He's right in the middle of his lunch, it appears, or his mid-afternoon repast. And he's sitting there smacking his fingers, got his napkin tied around his neck. So, please, no formality. Come, sit. Eat your fill. Save yourself some rations, friends. I've been given the gist of what has occurred. And, it seems to me you have 3 choices before you here. I'll tell you what I think they are, and we can see if our ways of thinking align. But I will tell you this. If indeed there's a cat involved, that's a great, great danger. And your friend the wizard is correct if the story that I hear is true. Fairy magic could help against a cat. And of course, the assistance of a large beast could also help. And of course, a small force could perhaps rescue those mice from that secret hideout the rats have before the cat ever gets involved. Now, I believe it is incumbent upon me to raise a war band, but I cannot leave Bernpyle defenseless. There are far too many rats. And word has it a wolverine has moved in from the south. And that is not something I would try to make friends with at all.
No.
The point is, I must raise a militia that will take several days. You have some time to do something, whatever you think is best. You could perhaps visit the fairies and try to see if you could get this staff back for your friend, and use the great powers it has. Or you could go find and befriend a large animal. Or you could even stage a daring raid and free those mice. I will leave that to your discretion, but you will have my support, and certainly large rewards if those mice in my earldom live because of your bold actions.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to have to really consider these options. My first thought was maybe we could go and befriend a corgi. That's what the wizard said would be the biggest threat. It was a giant beast like that.
Yes. Well, perhaps you could find out where the great corgi dwells. Oh.
Well, yeah, I've never seen a corgi.
Well, they're mostly scarce since the giants left these areas. They were friends with the giants, but I will leave that to your discretion. I think you should rest up. If you have any wounds, we will, of course, do our best to help you. And I think time is of the essence. By dawn, you should decide what to do and be on your way. I'll provide you any assistance I can. However, our coffers run low, but it appears that your bags are not unfull of pips. I will, however, give you a good hearty meal here, and my blessing as well. And you're welcome. And should you perform your duties nobly, as I say, perhaps you will all be made mouse knights.
Wow, that would be so cool.
I'm not even worthy.
Well, your worth will be proven in the next episode.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.